You're at a job interview and all of a sudden they say, why do you want to work at our company anyways? What exactly should you say? What should you not say? And what else is important to consider with respect to this question? Don't worry, we're going to answer all these questions right now. Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Danilo Caprick here, aka the best dressed man in tech sales. Don't forget it. Also one of the co-founders of the B2B Syndicate. Now, in today's video, very excited, we're going to talk about a interview-centric question, which is something that you're going to get asked all the time, by the way, guys. And it doesn't matter if this is for a sales position, could be any position ever, okay? They're going to ask you, hey, why do you want to work for our company? And it's really important to nail this question because it's really important, right? Like imagine if you're a CEO and you're evaluating somebody that wants to join your team and they don't really have a good reason for why they want to join your company, it's going to make you think twice about hiring them, right? So with that said, it's really important that we provide some information here on how to best answer this question. So with that said, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it so you can get these insights. All right, folks, because everybody's reasoning is going to be different, there's no bulletproof, 100% sure way to answer this question that will apply to everybody. It's going to largely depend on your reasoning. So what I will do in this video is give you my perspective on how I would answer this question, and you can take some of the characteristics of my answer and use it in your approach. Since everybody's reasoning is different, I don't want to say that this is one specific way you need to answer this question. No. That's going to depend on really why you're curious about this company. You might have a passion for the technology. You might know a lot of people internally and have good relationships from the past with them. It could be a various amount of reasons, right? So I don't want to say that there's one bulletproof, silver bullet way to answer this. It's really going to depend on your personal why. But let me give you a few characteristics that I think everyone should include in their answer. The first thing that I personally love to include in this answer is real statistics and market information. Let me tell you what I mean. For example, my current employer is in the data and AI space, and this is a space that I was personally very interested to get into. And the reason I was personally interested to get into it is because all the money that's flowing in there, okay? You guys know right now AI is booming. But here's the thing. When I got in 2021, it was still a little less mature than it is now, right? Naturally, it was 2 years ago. Anyways, here's the thing. I went ahead and I looked at Gartner, I looked at McKinsey, I looked at, what else? KPMG, I looked at all the big consulting firms and I found numbers to represent the growth taking place in that industry. The first thing I think everyone should include in their answer is information about the growth taking place in the sector. Just in case you're like, what on earth do you mean? Let me break that down for y'all just a bit. So if you are in sales, I hope that you are going into a sector that is growing, right? You don't want to be a salesperson going into a sector of technology that's declining, right? For example, I don't think anyone's crazy about selling cable television or newspapers right now. Why? Because those are declining industries. We wouldn't want to do that. As a salesperson, that'd be a little silly. Instead, salespeople should want to hop into an industry that is always growing or that is a must-have product like security, right? Instead, smart salespeople would always jump to the industry or subsector or sector of technology that is growing at the most rapid pace. And if you can show numbers that prove the fact that you research this industry and that you have a data-driven reason why you want to get in, it's going to make you look really smart. For example, my current employer is in the data and AI space. When I was interviewing, I went ahead and I did research. I went to Gartner and I went to McKinsey, a couple of other big consulting firms, and I just Googled around. What is the annual growth rate in the data analytics market? What is the annual growth rate of the AI market? And I saw really good numbers. Let's just put it like that. I think I saw something around between 16 to 24%, all in that range. And for me, I was like, wow, that's a very compelling reason for me to get into this, because if that market is growing at that kind of pace, it's going to mean that we will always be in demand and I will always most likely be selling. And here's the thing, guys, once you have this information and these numbers, you can actually weave those into your stories quite nicely. Let me give you an example. If I tell somebody that, hey, I want to join this company because I saw on repview.com that a lot of people are closing 6 and 7 figure deals, and I want to close 6 and 7 figure deals so I can comfortably retire my mom. The other thing is I'm confident that I would be able to make sales here because based on my research, this market is growing at 16 to 24% year over year, according to XYZ source. And I know with my background, I can help capture some of that market share. Wow, if somebody said that to me, they had the numbers, then they paired it with the emotional reason and they want to retire them. Oh my God, can we hire this guy? You see how that works? Once you're able to take numbers and weave that into your bigger narrative as to why you want to work at this company, that's going to do something to the person that's interviewing you, right? Because you're going to appeal to their emotional side and their logical side. So let's say you're dealing with somebody who's interviewing you and they're very emotional. They're going to like that you tied it into your story. But let's say the person is really objective and they don't care about the emotional stuff. They don't care about you retiring your mom, whatever. They're going to like that you had the numbers. So you reduce your chance of risk here by appealing to both the emotional and logical side, which will help you create a favorable first impression to whoever is interviewing you. The second thing you should try to include in this answer is anything that mentions reviews from customers. Why on earth should you care about this? Because look, if you're a real true sales professional, you want customers to like the product, right? Like you don't want to sell something that people don't like or that they don't enjoy using or they don't get value from. So if you can pull up to the interview and you can say something like, well, I saw on the website G2, you guys had, 1,000 5-star reviews and you only had one 1-star review, whatever it is. And that signals to me that a lot of people get value and they really enjoy this product. And one of the things I value in a company that I work for is selling a product that people love. Or let's say it's an application, right? And you look at the App Store and you see all the reviews in the App Store and they're overwhelmingly positive and they got thousands of reviews. Reference that in your answer and mention how important it is to you to sell a product that people genuinely enjoy, get value from, and that you can also potentially enjoy. The third characteristic you might want to include in this answer is what outcomes they produce for their customers and why you care about those outcomes. Let me break this one down for you. For example, one of the outcomes that the product I sell today produces for our customers is it helps them make predictions, right? Hospitals want to predict who's going to get sick before it happens. Banks want to predict who's going to pay their bill before the due date. Companies want to maybe look at how much revenue they're going to produce in the next 30 days. I think that's really cool. Personally, I think that's really cool that we can help businesses literally predict the future. That is some kind of AI futuristic movie stuff that I tend to find very interesting. And guess what? When I was researching for the interview process, I was reading the case studies and I was reading about the different outcomes that this company was producing for customers. And guess what? When they said why this company, I talked about how the outcomes that they're producing for clients genuinely excite me. Genuinely. This is not no fluffy BS corporate answer, guys. This is something that you can genuinely speak to if what they do for their customers genuinely excites you. Now, let's say you're, working for an insurance company and, you're selling risk policies or whatever it is, right? If that doesn't genuinely excite you, don't talk about it in the interview process, right? That's not going to be compelling. But if you're interviewing for a company where the outcome that they produce for their customers is genuinely exciting to you, talk about that in the interview process and let that genuine passion and excitement show. All right, guys, we covered a lot. Let's recap so we don't forget what we talked about. The first thing we talked about was using numbers and statistics to show the growth in the market or the industry and talk about why you want to be in a place that's growing. Second thing we talked about was using those numbers and weaving them into the emotional side of your story for why this company. The third thing we talked about was using customer reviews and feedback to validate the fact that people like this product and you genuinely want to sell a product that people enjoy and get value from. The last thing we talked about was the actual outcome that their product or service produces. So if the outcomes that this tool, product, service generates are genuinely cool and interesting to you, talk about how excited you are to produce those types of outcomes for those end customers. All right, folks, so before we go, I'm actually going to give you a live example on how I would answer this question using those 4 components we just talked about. So let's say they ask you the question and you say, well, Sarah, appreciate the question. I think there's 4 specific reasons why I'm very interested in working for XYZ company. The first reason is the market you guys play in is growing between 16 and 24% year over year, which means there's a lot of upside for salespeople. And personally, that's going to help me achieve my goal of retiring my mom in the next 5 years. The second reason is because it seems like this company has a lot of raving fans. And what I mean by that is I couldn't find a single negative customer review. And I also found 5,000 positive 5-star reviews on G2, as well as noticing that you guys are a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Number 3, the outcomes that you guys are producing for your customers are genuinely interesting to me. For example, being able to help a hospital predict who's going to get sick before it happens is actually really cool to me. The last thing is, it seems like the company is doing very well right now. Based on the last quarter's earnings report, it seems like revenue is up by 43%, and it doesn't seem like you guys are slowing down anytime soon. So that's how I do it, guys. And at the end, I threw in a little bonus of company performance. So that's another thing that you can use as well in your answer. If the company's doing very well, look at their last earnings statement and report and pull out some numbers to validate, hey, you guys are growing at this percent, or you guys have grown consistently for the last 8 quarters. I think that's phenomenal. I want to be a part of a winning team, right? But those are all things that you can include in your answer to be really polished, sound intelligent, sound researched and prepared, and again, differentiate you from 99% of other applicants. So hope you got some value from this one, guys. If you did, smash that subscribe button. Also go follow me on LinkedIn. And last but not least, go ahead and use the link below to sign up for our free weekly newsletter and join our Discord channel where you can get free access to myself, the other co-founders of the B2B Syndicate, and ask us any questions that you may or may not have on sales, tech sales, psychology, human behavior, whatever it is, we got you. All right? Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the week, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy now.